for a spin, shall we? Okay, most of you should recognize North America here, hopefully-ish. Obviously, here's Alberta, Canada, so we'll start real nice and close to home. I know there's some stuff that's whacked over here in the Hudson Bay area, but I don't know that side of the country well enough to really get into detail there, but I do know Vancouver Island pretty well, so we'll start there. For starters, does this look right to any of you? Do you not remember Vancouver Island being an island out in the ocean, not attached to the mainland? So why is this top half here attached now? And what about Victoria? I know some of you out there are familiar with that. Here it is, tucked in this tiny little channel in here, and like basically inland. I seem to remember being able to look out into the wide open ocean from there. I'm pretty familiar with the island. And look at the trip from Vancouver to get down here to Victoria. Like, look at these islands and shit you gotta thread yourself through. Like, this stuff was never filled in like that. Not ever. Certainly here, I mean, there's probably gonna be bridges across here very soon. Some of these places, like, that's not an island. You can't even classify that as an island anymore. But anywho, I want to keep this video short, so we'll skip on up. If any of you remember, the Queen Charlotte Islands, they changed the name of them a few years back to Haida Gwaii, which pissed me right off, and it used to annoy me every time I heard the weather ladies say it. But anyways, they used to be just tiny islands sprinkled up and down through here where there used to be ocean between the mainland and Vancouver Island. But I was pleased to see the Queen Charlotte Islands are back now. But, yeah, no mention of Haida Gwaii anywhere in here. You won't find them. But Queen Charlotte Islands, supposedly, this great big son of a bitch here is the Queen Charlotte Islands. Yeah, okay. So there you have it, and they're way out of place in relation to Vancouver Island, which you can see it's getting swallowed up by the mainland. So anyways, don't want to harp on any one place too long, because there's a lot to cover here. Let's cruise up and have a blue at Alaska. Now, really, people? Any of you remember Alaska this shape? Having this shit, this ring swinging off the bottom here, and just for kicks, look at the size of it. Look at the size of Alaska in relation to the entire continental U.S. down here. I mean, you're talking, what, 30%? 40? Maybe even 50? Damn near half as big as Canada. And while we're up here, I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that I remember Russia being hundreds of miles away from mainland Alaska, like a lot of hundreds, like 500. Now, does that look to be the case here? Do you remember this nub sticking off the end of, I mean, this whole thing of Russia doesn't belong. The east coast of Asia used to come up way different than that. But here we are. Look at this. Look at this shit. I mean, Russia, this is Russia. This is Alaska. I mean, they're going to be touching soon. And I can guarantee you none of this doesn't belong the way it is there. I mean, there was some stuff here where they filmed the Deadliest Catch. They come into some ports in here somewhere, but I mean, no. Not even close. Yeah, and I'd like to also point out, while we're at the top of the ball here still, you notice anything missing, folks? Like, let's look right down on it from the top. You tell me what's missing. Other ice here is all that's left up there. The ice on Iceland, and I'd like to point out that Iceland is completely in the wrong place, wrong size, wrong angle, everything else. I mean, look, the snow's almost gone out of the Northwest Territories. But I guess you can put global warming to rest. There's no more issue because the ice cap itself is gone, including the land underneath it. And this isn't just a Google Earth anomaly, people. Just to show you, I've taken, I mean, you can go pull these up yourself, but I've preloaded the pages to save us a little trouble. Here we are in Wiki, pulled up polar ice cap, and the quickest rundown on it. See also Arctic sea ice decline. Earth's North Pole is covered by floating ice pack over the Arctic Ocean. Portions of that ice that do not melt seasonally can get very thick, up to 3 to 4 meters. 3 to 4 meters, people. That's fucking 10 to 12 feet. And look at the global warming pictures we see with ice walls half a mile high falling off. Where did they go? And that ice pack used to be on a landmass that is no longer there. So if you look for the North Pole, I'm not going to read the whole article, but again, Wiki, here we are telling us there's not only one, but we have 4 North Poles apparently. You can read this whole thing to find out this shit yourself. It's ridiculous, but here, look at this. While South Pole lies on a continental landmass, the North Pole is located in the middle of the Arctic Ocean, amid waters that are almost permanently covered with constantly shifting sea ice. What? No. There used to be a landmass at the North Pole, remember? The Arctic tundra and whatnot. No. Not right, folks. So let's continue on now that we're pretty sure Vancouver Island is almost not an island anymore. Victoria's almost inland. Here's your Queen Charlotte Islands, or one big solid island way out of place and up the north coast there. Here's Alaska, massive in size. It's massive. I'm telling you, Alaska used to come out like here. No. Okay, but even if you can't see that, where the hell did our ice caps go? And why are they going to get ready to start taxing us again with another carbon tax in January? Look at Florida. This is not Florida. This eastern coast of the U.S. used to come down, and yeah, pointed out a little bit this way, and then all back in here. All this, the Gulf of Mexico was never all closed in like this. I mean, look, people, Florida's almost touching Cuba, for fuck's sakes. Pardon my French. But are you seeing anything else while we're looking at this? Yeah. Do any of you remember the west coast of South America being to the east of the eastern coast of North America? That friggin' thing's off by about 4,000 miles at least, from my recollections. This little thing we used to swing down here ended about here. All this is, no, not right. And all this should be over here. And while we're following South America in its wander across the globe, let's go check the bottom. Oh, look at the bottom of it. Look, the thing's twice as long as it used to. It's like, look, South America is damn near bigger than North America now, people. And do you remember its finger coming off of the Antarctic, which, by the way, is about double the size now, too? But why is the Antarctic and South America trying to shake hands here? Anybody answer that one? And why is South America about to bump into Africa? So, while we're over here on this side, let's have a look at the boot, good old Italy. Now, Does that look right to you people? That's not a boot. Well, maybe a hooker's boot. It ain't no boot that I remember. Look at the stiletto heel on the thing, and look at Sicily. It's not even the right shape for one. It used to be the soccer ball over here that the boot was going to kick, and now they're touching. I mean, really, people? Sicily, Italy. I mean, this is what it is. You're seeing what you're seeing. That is not right. Does not belong. Now look at this shit over here. Get into Poland and Ukraine. And did any of you ever play Risk? Do you remember all these countries north of Ukraine? Ukraine used to have a Baltic Sea border. And now look. Look at the size of Poland. Man, people. You don't even know your ball. Your ball is broken. It's very broken. Here's Russia now. There we go, all stretching out all over the place where it doesn't belong. China. And you remember Mongolia being massive? Massive. Right tucked in between China and Russia there. And if it wasn't bad enough, I mean, here we are on the east coast of Asia, where it's doing its stretch over to shake hands with Alaska. This whole stretching piece here doesn't belong. This coastline used to come up about like this. Like it's way whacked. And here we go, North, South Korea, way out of place. Like, way out of place. Any of you remember Japan? Like, probably remember it about down here, just a little banana, a little tiny banana island kind of thing. Well, no, all of this is Japan now. All of this, yeah. They must be happy. They're kind of running out of room there, I'm guessing, but shouldn't be an issue by the way they're growing. Anyone remember the dotted mountain range or whatever the hell is dotted islands, I guess. It's probably going to be a mountain range thing that connects Kamchatka to Japan. Didn't think so. Yeah, okay, where do we go from here? There's so many. Oh, I missed the new island over by Greenland. We're up top here. Cruise down here to near the UK, which is changing shape and way out of place as well. And look at this here. We have ourselves Svalbard complete. A nice big city and everything. Airports, harbors, another airport. I mean, we ain't talking of a small island, people. I can guarantee you ain't gonna find a geography teacher, a history teacher. Nobody's gonna know where Svalbard Islands came from because they're new. And look at even Greenland; they're losing their ice too. These poor bricks are gonna be just nothing but lovely green grass and stuff here pretty quick. The rate they're melting, but that's your only ice pack left on the top of the ball. Period. That's it. No ice cap, no North Pole ice caps to worry about melting. So I don't know where their global warming discussion is going to go from here. Again, South America, Antarctica, reaching to touch each other. Now, here's the kicker. If you guys can't see this one, you are way something wrong with you, especially when you want to preach about your ball. This is Asia. This is China. Remember playing Risk? You had Siam and actually Mongolia, the one that's up top here now. It used to be right down here by Siam. But anywho. So this is the Indonesian islands, as you can tell. Indonesia, Malaysia, Papua New Guinea. And look at what. Do you remember this great big landmass south of Papua New Guinea or south of anywhere in the Indonesian islands? Take a guess what that brick is. Now, would you believe me if I told you it's Australia? No, of course you wouldn't, because you shouldn't. That's not where it fucking belongs. Look at it. It's not even the right shape. Oh yeah, better zoom in enough so you can indeed see this is Australia, with its new capital, by the way, of Canberra, which is again a new city nobody's ever heard of. It was clearly Melbourne. For all any of you people 50 years and younger who live in the same world I do, Melbourne was the capital of Australia for your entire lifetime. If you don't know that, well, that's the trouble. I keep trying to show you people changes in your life, and you don't even know your own life, your own world. So how do I show you? But look, Australia. Go ask anybody. Go ask any Aussie if Australia. The thing was thousands of miles out by itself in the middle of the ocean and about a quarter of the size of this thing, and nothing shaped like this. It didn't have this kid on the top and this big bay. No, it didn't. It was like way down here. And this, which, believe it or not, if any of you have any clues to rub together, this is New Zealand, which does not sit southeast of Australia. It used to sit northwest of Australia, and it was not even at all shaped like this. Here, I'll get in. There you go. New Zealand. Not talking of my ass, people. And I tell you the things I tell you. Here, Jay, another part of it. Did any of you remember part of Australia being Tasmania Island? This great big island hanging off the bottom end here. Really? Yeah. Okay. So, if any of you, before you start arguing with me about any of these, some of you are going to know places better than I am. I know some of them are way wrong, and you probably can identify a whole bunch that I haven't even. But don't you fucking dare try and even argue with me that there's nothing wrong when Australia is sitting there, and it is the size it is. New Zealand is falling down to the Antarctic. Wake up, people. It's time to wake up. You're running out of time. Oh, and that's the thing, too. With all these land masses moving around and countries coming and going, try and remember, I don't know, a lot of you probably don't care enough about the world around you to even have a clue, but I think most people in general, if they were going to guess how many countries are in the world, the number I'm hearing most frequently is well over 200, mostly in the 220s. But just for kicks, I pulled up a couple other things here when I noticed some strange news clippings. Here's AT&T offering you a call to over 225 countries in the world. So they're probably fairly up to speed on how many countries are in the world, wouldn't you say? Oh, and there's another one. Looky there, U.S., Mexico, there it is. 225 countries in the world you can call. So we know there's at least them. And maybe how do we know they serve every country? And now that we've established that, let's go see what Google tells us we have for countries in the world. I know 3 days ago it was 196. I know yesterday it was 195. What are they going to tell us today? Number of countries. That should do it for us. Holy shit, we're back up to 196 according to this article. Oh, no, we're down to 195 according to this one. But there you have it. You can see your world is moving and morphing and shit's sliding all over the place, and I mean, I don't know what countries are missing, but pretty sure we're down about 20 some odd countries, and there's 2 new ones out there. I forget the name of them. It's another video I'm working on. But people really got to stop dismissing this crap and